Hey guys, today I'm thrilled to be joined by my sister, Grace Bjork, who spent an entire year eating only fruit. When Grace told me this, we were living in different parts of America, so I didn't realize. But we got together last time and you're like, yeah, I spent a year eating only fruit. I was like, what? I
Yeah,
didn't know that was doable.
I also
What
don't think
happened to your body eating only fruit?
I don't think I really told anybody because I was doing it just for myself. Plus, I didn't want all the hate that I would probably receive. So I just like did it on my own and just out of curiosity.
Right, because I imagine people would be like, well, that's not healthy. In
Yeah.
fact, it's funny, you told me what happened to your body, and we're gonna show pictures because it's, like, the opposite of what a lot of people would think, and you said your own trainer was shocked about
Yeah.
the positive things that happened. How can you get stronger eating only fruit?
Right.
Um, but, in setting up for this interview, I brought I googled it and things. Cleveland Clinic, the fruitarian diet, is it good or bad for you? And it shows this picture and it says this fruit-based diet is high in sugar and lacks nutrients.
Yeah.
So you're not you're not getting your nutrients. You're getting too much sugar. This is harmful. Cleveland Clinic is saying. When you Google it, it says fruitarian diets are subject to criticism and health concerns. So you're right now you're pregnant, you're not on a fruitarian diet, but let me see some pictures. You sent me these pictures. So before and after the fruit diet, is that right?
Yeah, the picture on the left is like a few weeks or a couple of weeks before I started. And then the picture on the right is, I don't know, what, 6 months into it or something. And my legs had never been that toned or muscular before. As you can see on the left, I would always carry more fat and yeah. But
So
yeah,
your legs just firmed right up,
yeah,
eating
like
only fruit.
yeah, fat just shed off, and then I started building more tone, more muscle, and I got extremely strong. To this day, it's the strongest I ever was that year.
Wow. Okay, here's another one. So left is before, right
So, well,
right
the
is
left is like 6 weeks on the fruit diet. So you
okay, because
can
I
see,
was gonna
like, I
say
had shed a lot of fat, but like the muscle wasn't fully built. Where on the right is at the very end of the year, where I put on a lot more muscle tone.
okay. So 6 weeks in, you're looking bikini perfect, and then
Yeah.
a year in, you're looking strong. And then you're
Yeah.
back.
So the one on the left is actually from a couple years, I think maybe a year or two before the fruit diet. And then the one on the right is maybe, I don't know, a few months after the fruit diet. So the
Okay.
one on the right I had come off. But yeah, so this is
Okay.
this little picture that I made was, yeah, back in 2014. I wasn't eating really healthy. I would eat really high carb. I had gained the most fat I had ever had. I am actually drinking a fruit smoothie in that picture, but that's not how I ate. Um, but yeah, you can see that my body fat percentage was pretty high, and my squat was okay, I guess. But then in 2019, when I was doing the fruit diet, which is still very high carb, I believe fruit is very high in nutrients, and that was part of my theory that if you're eating high nutrients, your body can still thrive. And I wanted to put it to a test. But yeah, so then my body fat percentage went way down, but my strength went up, where I was doing a 200-pound squat. But that went up by the end of the year. I was squatting 235 pounds. So,
My goodness. Okay, so let's get to your workout videos. Let's look at this squat. Here you are with your trainer.
yep. So there we're doing a 1 rep max, and that is 235 pounds. And both he and I, when I did that rep, I was like, wow, that was actually way easier than I expected. And he agreed, and that I probably could have done a decent amount more. So,
In this one.
yeah, so that's more at the beginning of the fruit diet. And I think that's 200 pounds right there.
Okay. And
So,
okay, and then you built up to this. Now, is this the trainer you're talking about? When you first told me you were doing this, your trainer's like, "Well, that's crazy. Only fruit."
well, he was actually not super judgmental and harsh on me. I mean, I'm sure he was thinking things, but he's like, "Okay, whatever you want to do," because I told him I'm doing this experiment where I only eat fruit and I want to pair it with what would be the opposite style of working out. Powerlifting is where you're doing 1 rep max, or sometimes, in training, you're only doing 2 or 3 reps of extremely heavy weight, and you're supposed to be eating very high in calories, very high protein. You're supposed to put on weight so that you can be as strong as possible. And so I chose that style of training on purpose, because why would you match fruit in powerlifting? But anybody that,
You
you know,
chose this just to be a contrarian?
yeah, and just to really test my theory that you could probably thrive on fruit. And I think it was the year prior, I had tried the whole eat really high protein to get stronger, like your body weight in grams. And at that time I was doing CrossFit and I got weaker. I my heavy lifts went down. I struggled and I got really sluggish. And so I was like, well, this isn't working. Eating a whole bunch of meat with high protein, at least for my body, it's not working. And so then I tried a vegan style of it, my body weight in grams of protein, but all vegan protein powder, beans, stuff like that. Because I knew of people who had, vegans who got really strong. And my strength went back up, but I still was really sluggish in cardio and explosiveness. And so then I started thinking, well, maybe, like, what if you ate in a style that's high nutrients, but is very efficient for energy, meaning 50% of your digestion go or 50% of your energy goes towards digestion. So what if I ate foods that were easy to digest? And yeah, still high nutrients. And I also think your body actually loves sugar and can thrive on it if it's natural and connected to high nutrients like fruit. Like your brain loves sugar, a lot of the organs love sugar. It's very easy to process, and sugar has just been demonized. So, anyway,
Well,
yeah.
processed sugar is a whole different ballgame.
Oh,
It's
yeah, it's
simple.
totally different. But people try to act like fruit and refined sugar are the same thing. But anyway, yeah, so I decided to pair those together to just see what would happen. And I remember being afraid that I'm gonna get anorexic and I'm gonna lose all this strength that I have built, because I was fairly strong like going into this. I'm like, I'm gonna lose all my hard work. But I was like, I don't know anybody who will do this. People who eat just fruit probably do yoga and not powerlifting. So I was like, I will volunteer and do this experiment. I'm so curious. Yeah, and I just went for it. And after the first 60 days, I realized, I did drop a lot of fat, probably some muscle, but then my body just stabilized after 60 days. It didn't continue to drop fat. I started building muscle, and yeah, my fear of getting anorexic kind of went away, and I realized I was probably going to be fine.
And by the end of the year, what was your trainer's reaction?
He was starting to get curious about implementing more fruit in his diet. Of course, he was never going to like go full into eating fruit, and I wasn't promoting that either. I was going to make myself end at a year and go back to other foods. But yeah, he got curious about the benefits of fruit, and I think I don't remember all the benefits of cherries, but there was something about those that was really good for working out and lifting. And so I think that was one thing he started implementing. And yeah, he just got curious basically and implemented more fruit.
Wow. And here's pull ups. I struggle to
Mhm.
do pull ups, so this is impressive to me.
Yeah, so people would see me do these pull-ups and they would be like, "Well, of course you can because you're so skinny." And which I'm like, I don't think people realize how insanely hard pull-ups are just in general, especially for women. But then I was able to say, well, I can do a 200 some squat. If you're super skinny and little, supposedly you're not going to be able to lift heavy. So then they couldn't say anything when I had the combination of a heavy squat and really high pull-ups.
Wow. And then this one, weighted pull-ups.
Yeah,
Woof.
obviously
Crazy.
struggling to do
Eating
that, but
eating only fruit to do that, and then plyometric, some plyometric moves you
oh
were
yeah,
doing.
I think those are like 35-pound dumbbells. So it's a little over half my body weight jumping.
Oof. Wow. So this it's so interesting because last time I saw you, we talked about this. Now I was doing the raw vegan cleanse, and I'm traditionally a huge carnivore. I've eaten a high protein diet for years because the fitness community says you need a gram of protein per pound of body weight, and I've
Mhm.
always strove for that every day, and
Mhm.
it's hard to hit.
Yes.
But I got in the best shape of my life by really committing to that and getting a lot of it from eggs, actually. But I was doing a raw vegan cleanse, which I posted here on this health YouTube, um, because I was having cravings and feeling sluggish. And you've done this cleanse.
Yeah.
The raw vegan cleanse can really tune up your body. But the cleanse got me thinking, I was just thinking about only eating plants, and then I was thinking about people. Most people do this because they think eating meat is unrighteous to hurt an innocent animal.
Yeah.
It's not the reason I do it. I do it to tune up my body. But then I was like noticing the beautiful life force of plants and how I'm literally killing this plant when I eat it.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, there's death in all eating. To keep ourselves alive, we have to kill something else. And then I thought through the logic more, and I was like, the only way that you don't kill a plant or an animal when you eat is if you eat the fruit.
Yeah.
Like when you eat apples, you're not killing the apple tree.
Yeah.
And I was like, so maybe the most righteous way to eat is just the fruit. And I was just having this wild theoretical, logical conversation with myself about this, like Aquariuses do. And then I meet up with you, and you mentioned that you ate only fruit. Because I was
Yeah.
like, I don't even know if that's like doable. And
Yeah.
I was just like, wow. So maybe the most righteous way to eat is the most healthy way to eat. How was your overall health?
Yeah. So some of the things I noticed, my energy was the best it's ever been to this day that year. Um, where I just wake up really great energy, go all day, accomplish all kinds of things, and then be naturally tired by the end of the day. Um, but with that high energy, I could do these hard workouts because you just have like such high energy that even I noticed being very resilient to stress. So the like stress situations didn't disappear, but I could just handle them so well.
Mm.
Another thing I noticed was um, not that I had bad joints or overly stiff body or anything like that, but my body felt extra good, extra mobile, extra free in the joints.
Mm.
And I know some of that is because fruit encourages lymph flow. And so
Ooh.
my lymph was flowing so much better. If you have stagnant lymph, you're going to have way more pain in your body. Your joints are going to be more stiff. You're more likely to get things like arthritis, etc. And so, yeah, my lymph was just flowing so well that my body felt so mobile, like puffiness went away. That's why I looked a lot more sculpted. And so it wasn't just fat because you can lose fat and still be puffy. um, and then Another thing was like incredibly clean from the inside out. So things like earwax or boogies or whatever, the things that will try to purge out of your body because your body's probably trying to get rid of toxins every day.
Body odor?
Yeah, body odor, all those things basically vanished. And I remember getting so used to having such a clean body that when I implemented regular foods and those things started to come back, I was like, "Ugh, what what is this?" So that was really interesting too. And then, oh, one thing that I think is interesting is what I believe my blood sugar levels. I believe they regulated. So I remember all in my teens and early 20s, if I went too long without eating, I would get super shaky and what people call a hangry, like so emotional. I need food now, like I'm like teary-eyed, shaking hands. And it completely cured that. And to this day, it's never returned. Like my blood sugar levels are very stable. And what's interesting about that is experts or professionals say to stabilize your blood sugar levels, you need to eat protein regularly in each meal. And if you're going to have fruit, you should eat protein first and then the fruit. Um, and here I was eating only fruit, and it basically cured that problem. So I'm sure there's like other things that I may be forgetting because this was a while ago, but I just remember everything improving and I had no negative side effects at all. Nothing bad happened.
Wow, that is crazy. And then what's this picture? You did eat a little bit of veggies, it looks like salad.
Yeah, so on some days I would, the first 60 days, I only had fruit to like really get into it hardcore. And then I would have some vegetables and then even smaller amounts of nuts or seeds. But there were plenty of days where I wasn't having that at all. Yeah, I would have these ginormous smoothies. I think usually in the morning, packed with nutrients, and those would keep me full for a long time. But yeah, I was never starving myself. If I was hungry, I ate until I was full. So I was eating like a ridiculous amount of fruit. I had like this overflowing big basket of all kinds of fruit. And it also made a busy lifestyle very easy because you don't have to prepare food. It's already prepared and you just eat it.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay. What's this?
So that
What?
is again on the left a couple of weeks before I started, and then on the right is 6 week, I think roughly 6 weeks into eating just the fruit.
Okay.
So shedded a whole
Oh,
bunch
okay,
of
so this
fat.
is still the beginning phases.
Hmm.
Before 6 weeks in, and then 6 weeks in and after.
Yeah, at the
And your
very
stomach's
beginning.
rock hard and strong.
Yeah, and of course that last picture at the end of the year, I'm flexing.
Mm,
And because I know some people are, ooh, I don't want to put on. Some girls are scared of muscle, but when I wasn't flexing, I just looked very slim and lean and toned.
nice. Yeah, well, I can see in this pic, like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're flexing, but your stomach looks
Oh,
rock hard.
I have lots of, um, yeah, different pictures like that where my stomach just, it looks like I'm flexing my abs, but they're just nice and toned.
Amazing. This is so inspiring. I just thought it was so cool that you told me this right after I had this theory in my head.
Yeah.
Of, like, just thinking about, like, why how people eat for ethics.
Hmm.
Um, Vegans are murderers unless you only eat the fruit like you did.
Yeah. Which, at the end of that year, I wasn't doing that to be like, this is how everyone should eat, and I'm going to be this way forever. So at the end of the year, I implemented meat back in, but I loved my energy levels. So I did continue to eat for energy, like easy digestion. So I was eating meat that was easy to digest. Um, So, yeah, I don't know if I would ever go back to that fully because I do also like meat.
What kinds of meat are most easy to digest?
Supposedly, fish is the easiest. And
Hmm.
then I don't know if chicken and turkey are the same or one is more or less than the other. And then supposedly beef is the slowest to digest, or red meat.
Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Well, I'm inspired. I might add a lot more fruit into my diet now.
Yeah.
Um, I was eating a lot of fruit on that cleanse and I felt pretty good. But fascinating. Thank you so much, Grace, for coming on
Yeah.
and telling your story. Now, if people have follow up questions for you, how can they reach you?
They can go to my Instagram, Grace Bjork. I think it's underscore after that. But
Okay, let's see. Grace, I'm bringing up your Instagram. Yeah, Grace Bjork underscore. She owns a massage therapy business, all about holistic things.
yeah.
So there's Grace's Instagram. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Great talking to you. Okay. Talk to you later.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.